From the newsrooms of the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, this is 4020, where we give you press pass access to the latest news from only the biggest matches on the rugby league calendar. I'm Michael Chammas, and welcome to the very first edition of 4020, a brand new NRL podcast where we'll be breaking down the biggest stories across the game with the best journalists and NRL insiders from around the country. It's Monday, May 19, and the much-anticipated State of Origin team lists for Game 1 have been locked in, with returning Blues coach Laurie Daley staying loyal as Billy Slater bloods 3 debutants for the Maroons. Joining me today is Sydney Morning Herald sports reporter Christian Nicolussi to discuss the New South Wales and Queensland lineups. G'day, Christian. Making your audio return for the first time in 8 years. Welcome back to the airwaves, my friend.
I feel very nervous, Michael.
Mate, I've heard all about you.
I know.
Can you confirm if this is true or not? Eight years ago, you were doing a live cross for 2GB, your first live cross. You're at, I don't know where you were, but you're given an update on the Origin team, and they've crossed to you. You've completely blanked out, don't know what you're talking about, and hung up on them.
Why are you bringing that up now?
Because just you're making your return to the airwaves.
My nerves had finally settled, and you decided to dredge up one of the darkest chapters in my journalism career. You're right. Mark Levy, God bless him. I used to do a 5 to 10 minute
God
stint.
bless him. What has he gone?
On a Friday afternoon, 2GB. I remember being at the ANZ Stadium studio, and it was an Origin 2 game. They were bringing in Wade Graham. And for the life of me, do you think I could remember Wade Graham's name? Mark Levy said, "Christian, who's going to come in for the Origin team in Game 2? And I sat there pacing up and down the car park, and I said, "Mark, hit delete." Try to call him back straight away. Within 5 minutes, my phone lit up like Christmas. Mate's just going, "You idiot, you choked, never again."
And you haven't done anything since.
Mark just said, and he gave me a good tip afterwards because I felt about 2 inches big. He said, just as a reference moving forward, maybe put some notes down so you never forget.
No.
Hence, and you can tell now, right now, how many notes do I have right in front of me?
That's all right. You got mental notes because you've just come back from the Blues media opportunity.
Of course.
Didn't want to go out there. I'd leave that for you. So tell me, give me the rundown. What went
You're
down
the big
out
dog.
there?
You don't get out of the office.
Well, I saw the weather. I looked up at the clouds. It wasn't really my thing.
You don't want to get that hair wet, Michael.
No,
you don't want to get that hair wet.
After the hair.
There's no refund. I like the Blues. Of course, they were out there today. We have the annual media day. Game 1, it's always a cast of thousands. But they're all in a pretty good mood. Laurie, he, of course, did his media this morning. I've never met a more laid-back bloke. We listen to him most mornings on radio. He's very chilled and he just seems very relaxed. He's picked a team that he likes. Obviously, he's a coach. He's got to go with the team that he likes. But I just think it's a nice sort of mix of experience and new blood.
I heard that Latrell Mitchell, the media ban continues, no talkies, and same with Spencer Leniu.
Continues.
Is that right?
No Latrell, which is a shame because, let's face it, Latrell's one of the biggest stars in the game. We'd love to hear from him. Some of the plays he comes up with each week, that field goal the other night against Brisbane from 48 metres out, you'd love to hear what goes through his mind, what he's thinking. But, of course, the media ban's continued. And, of course, Spencer made headlines about a month ago. Jonathan Thurston, the little powwow on the sideline, continued on social media, which all fights do these days, the modern-day fight via the keyboard. Anyway, of course, it was going to be a hot topic, but they decided that Spencer took a few photos, then he vanished into the gym. So no Latrell, no Spencer.
What do you make? Are the NRL going to do anything about it? Like, I can understand from a Latrell's point of view.
Yeah.
Taking off my journalistic hat for a second, I can get the fact he doesn't want to be in the limelight.
Yeah.
That he feels like his football can do the talking for a while. Yeah. And even speaking to South Sydney last night at the game, I think they're willing to pay the fine if the NRL come out and fine them.
Yeah.
What's your take on the way this is playing out?
You can't force a bloke to talk. I mean, you could try and put in some rules, but Latrell's Latrell. He's been burnt too many times, not necessarily by the media, but whenever he comes out, he's always had a big opinion.
Yeah.
Sometimes those opinions have been sort of misconstrued. It can be twisted. You know what the words are like.
Yeah.
And he's been burnt too many times. So I guess while he's playing some good footy, he's back on the park playing regular footy. And if there's no need to talk to the media and he can get away with it, well, there's no need to talk. He's going to let his football do the talking for him.
Well, let's go through the team that Laurie Daley's named for Game 1. Dylan Edwards at fullback.
Do you like it, Michael?
Yeah, I do like it. Yeah, I do like it. I think it's a pretty good team. It's actually better than the team even that they won the series with last year. I think they're stronger than what they were. I'll go through it. Dylan Edwards fullback, Brian To'o on the wing with Lomax. The centres, Stephen Crichton and Latrell Mitchell. Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary in the halves. Barnett and Payne Haas in the front row, Reece Robson at hooker, Liam Martin, Angus Crichton in the back row, Isaiah Yeo, captain and lock. On the bench, Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Hudson Young, and Max King to make his debut.
Max King.
What a story.
I never saw Max King.
What a story.
It came from the clouds. I mean, I know his name was floated in certain circles, but never in a million years did I think Max King would be making his debut next Wednesday at Suncorp Stadium. And good on him. It's reward for hard work.
It's a great story, but the obvious talking point is no Terrell May and Max
Yep.
King debuts. What are you hearing around the traps? Is there a lot of criticism of Laurie for this, or could people understand? Because my mail was the reason that Terrell May wasn't going to get picked was because, yes, his stats have been good, and this is not my opinion. This is the opinion of the New South Wales Blues. The effectiveness wasn't there. The tackles, there wasn't enough oomph in the defence. There wasn't enough oomph in his runs, and while he was making a lot of metres and making a lot of tackles, perhaps the stats didn't reflect what the Blues wanted. So
Yeah. And I think you only have to look back to last Sunday week, that 64-0 hiding. Now, speaking as a West Tigers fan, my God, I couldn't even sit through that. That was torture. But Terrell May basically played 73 minutes that day. We all know he plays big minutes.
Yeah.
But Melbourne almost gave everyone else the blueprint. They just kept running at him. And he was completely gassed. He was missing tackles late in the game, which was entitled to happen. But I think with Terrell May, he's been so good in a team that's had a bit of a strong start, but has fallen away a little bit since. Terrell May is almost too similar to what you get with Payne Haas. So you get Payne Haas, who's just a workaholic. You got Mitch Barnett, who's a bit of an animal. They sort of complement each other well. Max King's just that hard worker. You know you're going to get 100% out of him. I just think with Terrell May, I'm not sure. I don't know what you're going to get with him. Almost too much. Like I said, like for like with Payne.
My boy, Mitch Moses, gets the night over.
Your boy?
My boy.
How come
Mitch.
you weren't out there interviewing him?
I
What's
should have
happened?
actually come out to make it uncomfortable for him.
You wouldn't have got permission, I think.
Listen to you.
But I do like Mitch.
I can
Mitch
understand
Moses,
it, yeah.
I know you couldn't have gone wrong. If he picked Jerome Luai, of course, was the other 5/8 option,
Yeah.
nobody would have complained. He's picked Mitch. My only concern with Mitch was whether or not he's going to be used to being that second receiver and being posted on the left side of the field. But as Laurie said, as he told me on the weekend, and he said it again today at his press conference, there's no such thing as having to post him on the one side of the field. Nathan's going to be the dominant playmaker. He's going to have full reign. He can sort of roam wherever he wants on the field. As Laurie said, he only had to look at the last 20 minutes of that 2023 grand final. Some of the best football you've ever seen, Nathan was posted predominantly on the left side of the field. And of course at Magic Round, the Broncos, when we all thought they were going to win at Magic Round only a couple of weeks ago, there's Nathan popping up on the left side of the field. I think he even did that try that was almost a carbon copy of that grand final try
identical.
on the left side of the field. So with Nathan being able to roam, there's not that pressure of Mitch having to stay on the one side of the field. He's got the huge boot. He's got speed to burn.
Yeah.
And he's going to love the fact that he doesn't have to run the show. He's just going to throw caution to the wind and we get to watch him.
We could not pick him on what he did last year. I felt for Jerome. I was at Campbelltown on Sunday night.
That wasn't you in the fight, was it?
No.
Being ejected by
I didn't
police?
see that in the background, though. No, that was some of my cousins in the hill. But I think with Jerome, you see him making the phone call. I had the phone call with Laurie Daley. Spoke to him after the game. I've got to give him credit because most people in that situation put their head down and don't talk.
Yep.
Jerome, he saw us there. He came. He stopped. He was more than happy to talk. He answered the tough questions.
And he's always done it, Michael.
And he's always done it.
When was the Origin game where he said,
see
you in the morning? Was
you
that
fools
famous
have
post?
work tomorrow or whatever he said.
But he's still aimed up. That night, I remember being at Suncorp, New South Wales lost. The one bloke that fronted the press, Jerome Luai. He's never ducked and weaved. For all these knockers out there, you've got to give him credit. He always aims up.
Just a little update on the injuries. Payne Haas, quad injury yesterday in that loss to the Dragons. Had scans. There's a slight tear. Will fly to Sydney. He's in Sydney. And they're going to give him every opportunity to play, which you have to do with a player like him. Stephen Crichton, they're managing a groin issue. There's been that issue in the lead up. He didn't train in the lead up to the game for the Dogs.
So I spoke with Stephen today.
Okay. Is that
I'll
right?
give you a little bit of an update. So basically he's been taking a lot of the goal kicking this year, which is a lot more kicking. And he said obviously the groin's been a bit stiff, but it's no issues. It's just flared up a couple of times, but he's going to be good to go. He's in no doubt whatsoever, but being relieved of the goal kicking, I think it's going to go to Nathan Cleary next Wednesday. Just that one little sort of the responsibility, the workload, just coming off him a bit. He'll be fine. You could have made him captain. Stephen Crichton has been unbelievable. He's probably the form player in the NRL right now.
We'll get to the captain in a second. I just think on Crichton
sorry,
with his
Michael.
goal
I didn't know the script. Sorry.
No, that's okay, mate. You keep
pull me
doing
up.
you, mate. You keep doing you as long as you don't walk out mid-sentence. I just wanted to touch on Stephen Crichton. You mentioned his goal kicking. It's interesting.
Yes.
The Bulldogs told me that because he's doing a lot more goal kicking this year. The reason he wasn't doing it last year and wasn't doing it when Matt Burton started the year is because his leadership in the middle of the field is so valuable, and what he says to the team at the halfway mark, at the halfway line, they couldn't afford to have him kicking goals. So that was the reason why that Matt Burton was doing a lot of the kicking, because most people would say that Crichton's a better goal kicker.
Yeah.
So his leadership has come a long way. You mentioned the captaincy, Nico. No Jake Trbojevic. It's probably saved Laurie what would have been a difficult decision to kick him out of the team, because we all love Jakey.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Had he been there, he would have been captain. Had Jake been picked...
You couldn't take it off if you picked him.
No
was
way,
he going to get picked, though? That's the question.
Well, that was the big talking point, wasn't it?
I don't know if he would have, to be honest.
Could you have had him?
I don't think they were going to pick him. If they were on the bench, you couldn't have named him captain. And I don't think you can argue with what Isaiah Yeo has done as the captain.
Yep.
You don't want to burden Nathan with that. Isaiah Yeo is an out-and-out leader. Not that Nathan isn't. But Nathan's the poster boy. Everyone wants a piece of Nathan.
Yeah.
You need to relieve him of some of that. So I think the decision to give Isaiah Yeo the captaincy is the right one.
He's
the other
big captain of Australia too. Can I just pull you up a quick fun story about Jake Trbojevic?
Yeah.
You had a little dig there. Passive aggressiveness. I love it.
How much
I love Jake. I love Jake. One of the great stories, you got Simbin one day at Brookvale, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he made a point straight after full time, came out and apologised to the referee. That pretty much sums up Jake Trbojevic right there.
100%.
Doesn't want to upset anyone.
100%. No,
Champion fella. Champion
greats,
family.
One of the greats.
Hello, Tom. I know he listens to this program.
Yeah, he's a big listener.
Well, he will be. He will be.
2020. No, he's all over it. Speaking of Tom, he's not there. We didn't expect him to get the fullback position. It's gone to Dylan Edwards over James Tedesco. I'm not surprised. Tedesco would have deserved it if he got it. Ryan Pappenhausen's deserved it of it, given the way he started the year. But you can't argue with Dylan. His combination with Nathan.
Yeah.
Vital to that. I got told that Nathan Cleary was asked last year by Madge, who is the most important player in your team that you play with. Who do you need? Who's your right-hand man? And that answer was Dylan Edwards. So I don't think he was ever going to miss out. But Tom Trbojevic not picked.
I think Tom Trbojevic in the conversation was more about him playing on the wing.
Yeah.
Because you got Zach Lomax coming back from that foot injury. You got Brian coming back from
but
the
they wanted Tommy, didn't they? They wanted to pick him. They just couldn't.
Did.
He just didn't give him the reason to pick him, because he hasn't been in the best of form.
If he came out and shot the lights out in Townsville,
he would have got picked.
Tom would have been on the wing.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He just looks like a bloke right now who's just a little bit lost for confidence.
Yeah.
Tom's 8 out of 10s are most rival players 12 out of 10s.
Yeah.
But he's just a little bit hard on himself at the moment. As Laurie, again, if I have to refer to the conversation this morning at his press conference, Tom will be back. This is not the last for Tom and the New South Wales Blues. He just needs to go back to clubland, get his confidence up. He's been playing with a cork, which I think we all know, but we'd love to see him sort of accelerate and just be the Tom Trbojevic we all know Tom can be.
So Queensland have picked an interesting side. There's some debutants in there. I'll go through it quickly. Kalen Ponga at fullback, Xavier Coates and Valentine Holmes on the wing, because Selwyn Cobbo, potential fractured wrist. I'm not sure if that's been officially diagnosed. And also Murray Taulagi out with a calf injury. It's forced a reshuffle, which means Robert Toya gets his...
I think Cobbo's sweet. I think he got cleared.
He got cleared.
I think Brisbane put out a little press release.
So he hasn't been picked on form. He hasn't been picked on form.
If we get it wrong, we can go back and delete this passage of the
we
conversation.
don't delete. We do one take. That's what we do here. 40-20, not 20-40. I think with Cobbo, that's an interesting point. We'll get to that as I get through the team. But Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow with Robert Toya debuting in the centres, the Roosters' young gun. Cameron Munster and Daly Cherry Evans in the halves. Mo Fodawaker, Harry Grant, Tina Fasua-Malaawi. The back row, Ruben Cotter, Jeremiah Nanai with Patrick Carrigan at lock. On the bench, Tom Dearden, Lindsay Collins, Beau Fermor and Trent Liero. It's a pretty good team. Some debutants in there.
It is an excellent team.
It's better than the team they probably had last year with the inclusion of Munster and Tina Fasua-Malaawi.
Yep.
I just think the Cobbo one's fascinating. We know what Danny Weidler wrote last year about the issues with Cobbo and the Queensland team.
Yes.
To me,
it
justifies what he wrote. If he's fit and he's not picked and they've gone with a debutant like Robert Toya, then he's obviously...
It is an interesting one, but Cobbo sort of sums up Brisbane and the way they're going at the moment, doesn't he? I mean, he's up and down with his form. He does a lot of great things, but he's still got a good era in him as well. And Robert Toya, he has come from the clouds. I think he was one of the few standouts for a Roosters team that were soundly beaten by Brisbane in round one. He's had a couple of good games since. From memory, he had a bit of a howler one night at Allianz. I can't remember who it was against, but it's a big call. What's he, 10 or 11 games into his career?
Yeah.
We're now throwing him into Origin, and I'm pretty sure he's going to mark up against Latrell Mitchell. So
What an occasion.
Full credit to him. If he can get the job
Full
done.
credit. You can't do cliches on this thing. What are you doing? Full
sorry.
credit to the boys. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm too used to writing. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I've read
I'll
your
take
copy.
that back. Robert Toya, good luck to him, son. Do your best. Good luck stopping Latrell. You're no chance, son. Bring back Cobbo. Hashtag.
Well, I think with Toya, I was there in Magic Round when.
He's a rooster. Of course you're going to wrap him.
Well, hang on a second. What are you suggesting?
I'm not saying it. Sorry, I'll stop you there.
Well,
Keep
let me finish
going.
my sentence.
Keep going.
Probably your suggestion will be validated. I was with Nick Politis in the tunnel.
Oh, yes, there you go. There it was coming.
I was with Nick Politis.
Comparing bank balances, yes.
Yeah, comparing bank balances. That's not happening. In the tunnel, after he gave, to be fair, he was marking up against Herbie Farnworth. They played the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And he was outstanding that night.
Yeah.
And I was actually with Nick Politis because I remember thinking, you rude B word.
Hey, come on.
No. But Billy walked over, and obviously Nick cut me off, and then went to the corner with Billy to have a chat. But that was about Robert Toya.
Yep.
Because Nick was pretty impressed with what he did. Billy was very impressed with what he did.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't think that was going to result in him making his debut this year.
Yeah.
Just thought he's on the radar for Billy to keep an eye on over the next couple of years. But what a story that is! Him going on the back of his ACL injuries. He's had a horror run.
I know nothing about his backstory, but I tell you what, if you're playing Origin, you're not a mug if you're playing State of Origin.
No, he's definitely a kid of the future. What about Patrick Carrigan? You're going to say something. Go, say it. What are you going to say? You put your hand down like you had something really important to say.
Because I sat in the press box at Cronulla on Saturday night. I mean, my copy went into a blog, but that's another story.
Yeah,
and I did get plenty of party pies. But for what it was worth, just to sit there and watch Harry Grant come back from a hamstring injury, the second minute goes the short side, destroyed Cronulla in those opening minutes. Cameron Munster's kicking game, and of course Xavier Coates. My God, I'm still waiting for him to come down from the sky with that third try. Talk about Queensland. Sorry, I cut you off. I'll keep going. Patrick Carrigan, he's more of a natural. He just looks like a lock forward. He looks a little bit unhappy playing that front row role at Brisbane. He's not a battering ram. He's got silky hands. Lock forward, that's where his best
We started the
position
episode talking about how you had once had nothing to say on air, and now you're going to cut me off. First episode, pilot episode, people listening in.
Mate, we all know people are tuning in for you. You keep going.
Mate, you're the
put me in the box.
You're the sideshow to this podcast, okay?
I'm the Mitch Moses. I'm the support act. You keep going, Nathan. Sorry.
You're below Mitch Moses. I don't want to bag Mitch Moses. I'll get in trouble.
Come on.
What else we got here? Cameron Munster. We know he had his injury concerns last year, but
yep.
this. Speaking of people's men, you're a money man.
Yeah.
You love him.
I do.
He makes a massive difference to this Queensland team.
He does. And like I said, you only had to watch him against Cronulla. He almost reminds me of James Maloney, where he can try something, make an error 9 times, and will continue to make that same play. Just does not care. He's like a goldfish. 3 seconds later, he's forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
But he's a ball of energy, and he's just class, and he makes such a difference to that Queensland team. I really am worried about game 1. I think New South Wales can win the series, but I think it's a monumental task to try and beat Queensland in their own backyard Wednesday week.
Well, let's predict it. Let's sit here and pretend we get
2-1, Michael. 2-1. I just said it.
2-1's the series win, or the win on Wednesday night?
2-1 the series
old
win.
School.
I think Queensland
field goal.
I think Queensland win by 6 with Cameron Munster have an absolute
Hang on.
blinder.
Did you say 2-1 Queensland win the series?
Queensland to win Wednesday week
yes.
with Cameron Munster have an absolute blinder.
Yes.
Then we put the cleaners through them over in Perth.
We don't say we. We're professionals. We're balanced.
We're New South Wales. Let's face it.
Yeah, you're right.
We've got class. We've got class. We're not allowed up there. Queensland, we've got teeth. We've got front teeth. Of course we're from New South Wales.
We got a hair.
And then we'll come back in Sydney and it's going to be Laurie's homecoming and we'll win comfortably.
Game 3, you think? We'll
game
go to
3.
Perth.
We'll win it in game
2.
3. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably... They did that last year, didn't they? Came back from a
We've
game
dropped the
down.
first game and then came back.
I think you're right. I think it'll be 2-1. I don't know. I think we win in Suncorp. Queensland get it right and win in Perth, and we come back, as you said, in game 3.
Yep.
And win the series. We're all about the wheeze here.
Yes.
We're on board. We're
independent always.
Well,
independent, but not when we're recording 40-20.
I'm all on board, New South Wales. But if they lose, I'll turn.
Yes.
I turn with the best of them.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to go in all aboard Laurie and hoping he gets the job done.
Yep.
But we love post-match wrap-ups and the aftermath and who to blame and who got the selections wrong. And because really, if I'm looking through the teams, the question mark for New South Wales is going to be, did they get it right with the halves?
Yep.
Because Jerome didn't really deserve to get dropped. How will Mitchell Moses and Nathan Cleary combine? I think they've got it right.
Yep.
But there has the potential to be the storyline if they don't gel well. So
I think they'll be fine. I think the bigger concern will be the fitness around the wingers.
Yeah.
And the even bigger concern will be little Brian To'o up against Xavier Coates. I know I've made light of it before with him leaping to the heavens, but Brian To'o has gone up against Xavier Coates a few times now, more than held his own with that height difference.
Yeah.
But I am a bit worried. Brian's underdone.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Shout.
I don't know.
It's a good shout. You going to go to Lura? Watch them train?
What's the mileage up there? 78 cents a kilometre. I think it's about 85, 86,
You've
give or
already
take
submitted
10
the form before
kilometres.
you even go.
Not yet. I will.
Yeah, the mileage king. Well,
Hey, I need the money, not like you.
after getting caught in the bushes last year trying to watch Nico Hines train, I might stay away from the school. It's not a good thing to be caught out hiding in the bushes outside of a school. But Nico, thanks so much for joining us on the first edition of 4020. We'll be back for another episode of 4020 after Game 1 to talk through the fallout of the match, all the drama, and go through the rest of the series. State v state, mate v mate, and it's game on for 2025.
Go the Blues.
This episode of 4020 was produced by Josh Towers with technical assistance by Taylor Dent. Tom McKendrick is our head of audio. To listen to our episodes as soon as they drop, follow 4020 wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to check out all the other great pods from the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age while you're at it. Our newsrooms are powered by subscriptions, so to support independent journalism, visit The Age or smh.com.au/subscribe. I'm Michael Chammas. Thanks for listening.